What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the commish. Looks like I'm probably going to be doing this solo today. Just the OG's out to can get business with his family. I haven't heard anything from the loudmouth yet, so he might show up later on. I'm sure he's hooked on that OSU game. Other than that, we got a lot to get into. So, other than that, welcome to that fantasy show. What's going on, everybody? Glad that hopefully everybody's still here. Hope you had a good weekend. Welcome to that fantasy show. I'm your host, Ciozy, aka the commish, aka the prime one. Looks like I'm gonna probably be doing a little bit solo today, so I haven't heard anything from the loudmouth, but the OG said he wasn't able to make it in today, so whatever he got going on, hopefully everything's taken care of good. So yeah, let's get into last week. One thing I want to get into was the Lions and the Chiefs. Wow, great game. The Chiefs. I'm not gonna say pulled it off. The Chiefs did their thing. I'm surprised a lot of people aren't really saying anything about them doing that way. Okay. Let's see. So I got one here from let's see. Free draft. What up? Redraft full PPR. I can see the help. 2 and 4. Got an offer to move Swift, LJCM. In return, I get Quentin Johnston or which running back should I move and which receiver should I get? Honestly, I'm keeping. If you have a chance to get Swift, yes, I would definitely give you that. Now returning between JCM and Quentin Johnston. I'm sorry, or JCM, as I call him, Bill. My bad. Honestly, I would actually go with Swift. As much as I'm a Commanders fan. As much as I love what Bill is doing, me personally, my heart, and I'm sure a lot of people that are Redskin fans are going to say something to me about this. I don't feel Bill is the actual go-to guy. So if I could, I would actually go for Swift. No, I would actually give up JCM to get Quentin Johnston. Quentin Johnston basically is that actual breakout wide receiver for the Chargers. He is pretty much the go-to guy. He used to be dang, I forgot the kid's name. It used to be McConkey. McConkey's kind of like that little pass back, but if you want big numbers and you want big yards, Quentin Johnston's gonna be your guy that's pretty much gonna take that over. So yeah, I would actually try to get Swift. I would actually give up JCM for Quentin Johnston because you still have Swift and you'll get plus in Johnston. So hopefully that works for you. Another question I have is really about the Chiefs and Lions. I'm not gonna lie, I do feel as though that Patrick Mahomes is back. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to what to say on that. But Patrick Mahomes is back. I'm sure everybody's looking at the first game we had against the Chargers. They played like some garbage, and then when they played again, to where they got the 0-2 start, they played like garbage. Everybody played like garbage, but I'm assuming that Mahomes didn't have that magic. Now Mahomes is kind of showing you, okay, let me reintroduce myself. And he did that against Detroit. The next game he has against is Las Vegas. I don't know if he's going to make that damage like he's been doing lately. I think Andy Reid might try to do some type of what's the word I want to say? But try kind of keep him down. He'll have some yards, but he won't have those game breaking yards that we've been seeing for the past few weeks. Then on top of that, we actually have we have Breeze, not Breeze. We have Rice coming back, Breland Rice. If I say his name right, not I apologize. We also have Rice coming back. Now, I think what's going to happen against this game with Vegas, I do feel what might happen is that they what's the word I want to say? I do feel as though what might happen is that they're going to try to force a lot of plays into him. So if you are looking to get, I wouldn't put him as a 1 or 2, maybe as a flex if you're really needing a running back, because I'm assuming that a lot of the bye weeks are coming up now, or some of y'all bye weeks are now coming up, and you're losing receivers and running backs. So if you're needing somebody for to fill out a spot, maybe a flex spot, I would definitely look to maybe getting Rice on that one. And that's for that game. The Lions, a lot of people thought that if they beat the Chiefs, then they're on their way of making it to the Super Bowl. I'm not going to lie and say they're not still on their way. They are still a solid team. You see that with Goff. You see that with Amon-Ra St. Brown, with Williams. And also you still see, they still have to run a game with Sonic and Knuckles. So I wouldn't take anything away from this team. I know a lot of people are looking at it to where, they still have the Chiefs. They didn't beat the Chiefs. They still have the Eagles. So are they still Super Bowl bound? We'll definitely see about that. Part of that, I do kind of want to get into the actual brawl that came through. That was kind of like at the last minute. And now I got a question for y'all. I know we keep, and this is for the football players. Let me actually get to the football players. You guys that actually that still might play or still have that feeling to playing. How do y'all hold on to grudges the whole time? Because that's what this was. This was something that was back in the first quarter. This was a first quarter play. You mean to tell me that you held on from the first quarter to the end of the game to push this dude in the mouth for pushing you in the back? Granted, I understand this is your career. This can help you. But you held on for that for 4 quarters. That's what, 40 minutes? I'm still in all that one. I'm still in all that one. That one right there. I'm like, yo, you held on to that beef for that long. Dude, you need a hug. But besides that, we have the Chiefs that's playing. They're going to be playing Las Vegas. I think the Lions are on a bye this week. If they're not, let me see who they play next. Okay, hold on. I think the loud mouse trying to get in. Let me get him in. Oh, so the loud mouse will be joining us in with comments. So hopefully, yeah. So I'm sure he's gonna let us know what's going on. So yeah. So when you get on, just definitely let us know how you turn it out. Next, I definitely want to talk about Baker Mayfield and the Bucs and the 49ers. Baker, and I call him, this is his nickname to me. It's Baker Hold My Beer Mayfield. Because I don't care what anybody says, the way he has actually been playing, he basically, if it's something to where he has to prove something, it's more, hold my beer, I'll be back. And he got this and he proves it. Now, it is going to be interesting because their next game, they won't be without Ibuka because he left the game early, and I think he's out this week for groin. They still are dealing with Callan. They're still dealing with Evans and his injury. Let me see. Goddard is still, he's supposed to be coming out. So this is gonna be a tough. This is probably gonna be a tough thing for Baker in the next game. I will say this though, if he pulls this off, give him the MVP because this dude, he is on a mission. And I honestly will say this when it comes to Baker Mayfield, since his game days at Oklahoma, he lives up to these type of challenges. I'm sure the loudmouth was probably going to say, I'm sure the loudmouth was probably going to cuss me out when I say this, but when he went, you had to have some huge balls to basically walk into the horseshoe with a flag and plant it in the middle of the shoe. That takes a lot. Then throughout that year, I wouldn't mind playing for Cleveland. I don't mind playing. I don't think Cleveland is bad. To where you want to play for the Browns. You took the Browns to almost to a conference championship one year. So for him now for that, and now he's in Tampa Bay right after Tom Brady. Come on now. Yeah, this dude is true. But I do have a question, and I'll let the loudmouth put his answer in. So, who's the better quarterback, Baker or Mahomes right now? So that'll be my question. Who do you feel right now is the hottest quarterback? Is it Baker or is it Mahomes? JT Loudmouth said Baker. I'm going Mahomes. I'm going that way because as much as people keep taking him away from his weapons keep leaving, his weapons keep going away, his weapons I keep getting hurt. He still finds a way. So that right now, I'm putting Mahomes number one, Baker number two. Now the Titans. Other thing in the news: the Titans have also fired Callahan after the first 1-5 start. Question is, who's next? I don't mean to get fired. Who's next to fill? Who's next to fill that spot for Tennessee? Because the weird thing is this: quiet is kept. For the past, I want to say 7 years, every quarterback that has been drafted in the first has been the number one pick. That coach has been fired the same year. So this is something that's not new. I'm gonna say Mahomes needs to evolve himself. How so? How do you feel he needs to evolve himself? Because I've seen Mahomes get better every season. I think he got caught in one of those ruts to where he was winning. It was to that rut to where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's he's becoming more and more of a quarterback. I think now he lost in the Super Bowl, it changed him. And I think he did that happened the last time he really evolved and got his game set up, because when he lost to Tom Brady and the Bucks, he changed his game. Then he started winning some more. He now lost to the Eagles, and now he got himself back. He's back on the drawing board and get himself back on the setup as well. Okay, we got another one. My team is May, Dobbins, Vidal, CD, Rice, Metcalf, Njoku, Sutton. Need a good running back too. Which running back should I trade? And which running back are some good targets? Well, right now this week, for that one, replay of Shane. I will say this: we can't use Metcalf right now. And maybe Sutton. What I would say is that if you could, I would probably look between Rice and Sutton. See if you can get the running back from New Orleans, Alvin Kamara. I got to remember, Alvin Kamara the trade is not over yet. And I do feel some teams are going to be trading. So I would not see Alvin Kamara leaving. One, the Chargers are needing a new running back. I want to say who else? The Commanders. I need another. To me personally, I feel the Commanders need to involve with the running back. There are some teams there are some good teams out there. The Chiefs. So if I with anything, I will try to sneak in and grab if you can try to get a small trade using Sutton and maybe a 2-for-1, maybe like Sutton and Njoku. Try to target Mason for the Vikings. That's another one. Mason for the Vikings is a pretty good one. But I will probably say definitely look at Kamara because I do feel as though there's going to be that move to where he is going to be traded. I think New Orleans is going to try to trade him to either get some more draft picks or definitely restart. And I definitely see either one of the actual teams like the Chargers, maybe the Chiefs, maybe the I might even say the Commanders. I'm hoping. But I think that their talks are on Bryce Young. So but yeah, that's who I would actually say who you should trade. And those are the good targets. I would definitely put Sutton and Rice on the map. Maybe probably give them a 2-for-1 if you have a nice stable of running wide receivers. But I would definitely say use that and try to get either get Alvin Kamara, two I know I'm talking too fast, so I definitely apologize. Two, I would definitely say try to pick up the running back from the Jets. Damn. My bad, y'all. I usually am like on it some reason. I don't know if it's the crack that I don't know if it's the crack that I had this before the stuff to get me hyped up, but I gotta like read stuff over again. Let me see what is his name. What's his name? Breece Hall. Oh, jeez. Breece Hall is another target that might be traded out through the season. So I will look at grabbing them too. You got offered Henry for Rice, but I'm high on Rashid. So I also traded for Dobbins and Sutton because I needed some of the bag. ETN and Mason. Yeah, and like my co-host said, yeah, he did agree. He did state Mason. I'll put that on there so he can feel good about himself. He did say Mason is another person to look at. I will definitely try to let's see for Dobbins and Sutton, and I need a consistent running back. I would definitely look at Mason, but also look at between. Like I said, I would definitely look between those two as well, just for the simple fact that trades are. You got to remember these teams are still out here trading, so you can probably get them if you can try to get them now before the trade goes through. Because when that trade goes through, you already know how people are going to try to like. Yeah, I'm trying to get a better deal. I'm trying to get a better deal. Loudmouth says Henry has been a disappointment this season. Yes and no, and I'll explain to you why. With Henry, it's all based on the team, and a lot of injuries have came through, and that's the biggest thing. I think with this team, the injuries have kind of taken away the actual momentum that this team has, and I think once they get healthy, and once Lamar comes back, because once Lamar comes back, you already know how they're going to do it. I think Henry's going to they're going to actually try to keep Lamar boxed up so he's not running so much, and they're going to give the feed to Henry. So I'll probably say the second half of the season, definitely looking to Henry getting a lot more touches. Right now, they're just trying to grab Henry. I think Henry's just trying to carry the load for himself. But when you get Lamar back into that picture, I seriously think that that Derrick Henry is going to make a nice little push. Let's see. Lamar's not done for the season. Lamar just had a hamstring pull. It ain't like he got a torn ACL. All he had was just I think a bruised hamstring or something. They put him out for a few weeks. He's not done. Oh man, no, he's not done. I do think with this team, they're trying to figure out. I don't know if they thought that they would just be able to breeze through the actual conference, but a lot of injuries came through, and then I want to say the losses that they have, You lost to Buffalo. You lost to Kansas City. Well, the other two, I can't really give you any type of, well, I'm sorry, look, but I will say that I will say with this squad, it's all injuries. And I think they just felt as though they could just mow through the actual the conference, and yes, it's not looking that way. I do want to talk about two things. Now, we all know the Eagles lost. They lost 2 in a row. And I wanted to talk about that because Buffalo has done the same thing. And with Buffalo, are we looking, and this is my question. So are we looking at the Eagles are we looking at the Eagles saying, oh, they lost a stride and, they done this and they done that because they're the champions? Because Buffalo has lost 2 in a row too. They lost to Atlanta, and then I forgot the other team they lost to. So my thing is that how can we sit there and throw shade on the Eagles and not Buffalo? And Buffalo's supposed to be weren't they supposed to be the actual the chief killers? The self-proclaimed chief killers. They were the ones that was going to take the Chiefs off the throne and stuff like that. But every year, Chiefs find a way to beat them. So on that end, I definitely feel as though it's pretty much the same. With the Eagles, I just think that it's more the coordinator. This coordinator needs to decide how what's the identity for the Eagles. Whose team is it? And that will be what will be. Got me stuttering and bumbling again. I'm sorry. I do feel as though when it comes to the Eagles, they need to find out who they are first. I do believe that with the Eagles, you need to find out who are we actually riding the shoulders on. Last year, you said it was Saquon. We getting on Saquon's shoulders and we riding this ride. And that's what made you the team that you were. Now that Saquon has got his ring, now that you done beat the Chiefs, everybody on that championship hangover because all y'all feel as though we can hit the switch whenever we feel like it. Nah, NFL does stand for not for long. Now, and that's exactly what it's looking like. Okay, yeah, what y'all did to win last year ain't going this year. You already got AJ Brown looking like he ready to just say something like, "See, I told you so. I told you." You got Saquon Barkley just doing whatever. Garrison Hurst is being Garrison. I mean, I just don't know what to tell you after that. So this coordinator needs to basically find out what type of identity this team needs to be. If you're going to be a aerial attack, be an aerial attack. You have the weapons for it. I mean, you got AJ Brown, you got Devontae Smith, you got John Messi, you got Saquon Barkley you can throw the ball to. Hell, you even got Jahan Dotson. You basically have, I'll probably say, you pretty much have 3 first-round picks as wide receivers. A first round running back, and it's like you don't know how to use these weapons. Y'all should be blowing cats out the water. Jalen Hurts should have Mahomes-like numbers every game. Y'all should not be relying on the tush push every play because that's what you're doing. I'm not gonna lie. Fantasy-wise, it does help us if we have as a quarterback, but other than that, no. Now let's look at Buffalo. Buffalo, I'm gonna be honest. I think with Buffalo, it's more Allen, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean basically to where the same way we was talking about Patrick Mahomes is the same way we're doing at Allen. I want to say Jared Allen, but no. It's going the same way, and what I mean by that is you're putting it on his shoulders. And there's nobody, he has no safety net. He has no go-to guy. He did have it with Stephon Diggs. You had it, but he had a little bit last year with Amari Cooper. Whether you want to believe it or not, Amari Cooper was a decent safety net for him. But now it's kind of like he doesn't have that guaranteed go-to person. He doesn't have that guaranteed go-to person to where it's like, okay, if it's third and something, I need to throw the ball. They're going to be there. They're trying to get it in. They're trying to get it in Kincaid. They're trying to get it in Shakir. They're trying to get it in Coleman. It's like every week there's a new different person. Even with the game with Atlanta, he spread the ball so much, you didn't know who the go-to guy was. So that's just my theory on it. But I do feel as though again, a lot of trades can come here and there. Who knows what can come through? I wouldn't knock them trying to get Calvin Ridley. Sending Calvin Ridley to the Bills. If he's not happy in Tennessee and the way Tennessee's going, it's a bombshell. You need to start off from scratch. Keep that quarterback and just start from day one. But that's my discussion with news and notes today. So, I do want to definitely get into the actual games for this week. First, let's talk about the Sunday game, and let's see who we got. Let me work the graphics here. So for the Sunday morning game, we have the Rams and we have the Jags. Again, they'll be playing in Wembley. This is the 8:00 game. So, like I said, the fantasy players that you want to watch, you have Matthew Stafford, you have Kyrie Williams. Puka Nacua will not be playing. At the time, he was kind of seen as probable. He is now officially out. And you also have Devontae Adams still playing. For the Jags, you got Vidal Sassoon, Paul Mitchell himself, Mr. Trevor Lawrence with the sunshine flowing locking hair. Trevor Etienne, if I say the name right, sorry. Brian Thomas Jr., and you have Travis Hunter. Now, before I get into the actual fact and stuff like this, I do want to get into something that was actually brought up. And it was about Shakir and his before the game started, he got baptized. Good for him. What I don't like is to where when you have what I don't like is to where you had Skip Bayless saying something about that. Now, we always talk about players get in trouble in nightclubs, strip clubs, out there being in the streets, being outside. Now you have a person that is going to church, getting baptized. You would think that would be some good news to actually like bring into the NFL. But it's no, you're bringing at it like it's a bad thing to do. He shouldn't be doing that before game time. Why not? Is it wrong to go to church before you go to the game? You have a chaplain that's part of the team, so before every game, most teams are doing prayers. So now you're mad that this kid decided to give himself to Christ and be baptized, and you making a mockery of that? Come on now. Come on, Skip. You better. Skip. You better than that. I know you better than that, Skip. Come on, y'all. You got to find something else. You got to find something to jump on this boy about. Now that I got that ran out the way, let's get to some key fantasy factors. I will say this. With Puka Nacua, like I said, Nacua loss could be an Adams game. With Puka Nacua out, I do believe more targets are going to go to Devontae Adams. So I would definitely look if you question whether to start Adams or not, this would be an actual guaranteed start. Next, the factor I do have is that what position will Hunter flourish at? He's been playing some while he's, like I said, with the Chiefs game, he definitely came out of his shell. He actually stepped up. He He did his thing on the wide receiver end. I think the next week he actually flourished as the cornerback. So right now my thing is that where will he flourish at? I would probably say if Brian Thomas is doing his thing on the wide receiver field, go ahead and push Travis Hunter as a DB against Devontae Adams. Let's see how that matchup works. I wouldn't say be man to man, maybe put him in a few zone packages, things like that. Let's see how that works. And to be honest, for this game, I do feel as though what QB is going to actually give London the show. You got two quarterbacks here for the past few weeks that have actually just been kind of on the fourth quarter has been Mr. Magic. Matthew Stafford and you have Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has actually been kind of stepping his game up in fourth quarter matchups, especially how he played against the Chiefs. Matthew Stafford has been kind of just, he didn't do it last week. He kind of just, I guess he felt it was an easy win against the Ravens. I thought he was going to do better than that, but I guess since they didn't have anybody, he felt like, I didn't have to do too much. So I can understand that. Next game we got is the Sunday night game, which is between Atlanta and San Francisco. Now Atlanta is getting hot. I don't know what it is, but they've been on a rampage since that loss with Carolina. I understand there's only been 2 games, but the games that they have won, they actually came through and beat the Commanders soundly. And then they turned around and came through and beat the Bills. And this is with with Michael Penix doing his thing. And we're not going to lie, the Bijan Robinson show is probably what's setting this up. Because without Bijan Robinson, Drake London's not getting the grabs he's getting. Kyle Pitts is not. Kyle Pitts has kind of been here and there. Like I've always said, if you're going to put in Pitt, if you're going to get Pitts, you got to put Pitts in early. Now against the San Francisco 49ers, I don't know who's going to be quarterback at this time. So that's why I do have Mac Jones and Purdy both as fantasy players to watch, because I don't know who's going to be watching. So if you're up tonight, well, what am I saying tonight? Sunday morning while you having your cereal and watching your the other pro fantasy shows, make sure you find out who's starting out of this one. I'm not going to lie, Mac Jones has been kind of, doing the damn thing. So I don't know if they might, even if Purdy is healthy, they might try to just rock with Jones this 1 week and put Purdy as a backup in case, something goes down. I definitely feel Christian McCaffrey he's the only pretty much reliable person out there for the actual Commanders. I'm not for the Commanders, for the 49ers, excuse me. But I will say this. If you I will say this, if you do need another wide receiver, check for Kendrick Bourne to see if he's still available in some leagues. Kendrick Bourne for the past few games he's had over 100 plus yards and over 10 catches each game. And he's been there for the past 3 games. So I don't know if it's Mac Jones in there, because again, they both played in Kansas City. They both played in New England together. So they still had that New England connection. So I would definitely look out to that actual, if they do start Mac Jones, look for that Mac Jones Kendrick Bourne connection a lot in this game. And like I said, I look for the Bourne. That's for the Bourne attack. Monday night games I really didn't get into. I lost the thing out of that, so we'll talk about that next week. But I definitely want to get into, and this is probably make JT feel a bit better, our fantasy rankings, our fantasy matchups. So, these were our teams for this week. As soon as they come up. So JT had Justin Herbert, Trevion Henderson, Derrick Henry, Puka Nacua. Now, originally when he gave me the actual setup, half of these players weren't on here. But me being the better man and me not wanting to hear his mouth sometime down the line, I went what he had on week 6 on his actual team. So with that squad, he actually got 74 points. Last week when I actually set it up, I actually said I want to, I picked Stafford, who gave me 11. Javonte Williams got me 7. Bill got me 7. Waddle got me 15. Harrison got me 5. Waller got me 9. Again, Devontae Adams got me 4. The Patriots got me 7 for 68 points. The OG he picked up Stafford as well. He also picked up Javonte Williams. He also picked up Isaiah Pacheco. He also had Puka Nacua. He picked up Pickens. Had David Njoku, Stephon Diggs, and the Steelers defense, which got him a -4, and that brought him down to 52. So this week's winner is the Loudmouth. So congratulations to the actual Loudmouth. Let's give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him. So hopefully when he comes back next week, he'll have a nice little award-winning speech about how he did this week and how the rest of us are garbage and whatever Ruxin things he wants to bring up. So, sorry, still trying to get everything together. It's a shame. Even when he wins, he's running his mouth. No, the team you sent us. What the heck? No, the team you sent us bad this week. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to actually. Yeah, I understand you're Marion Franklin educated. I'm gonna need you to step your game up. Get back on Hooked on Phonics just for this week. So he's already sent me his lineup. So unfortunately, OG he might if the OG gets a hold of us, hopefully he'll send me his actual lineup that he has for this week. So, brother, if you listen out there, don't forget to send me a lineup so that way we can get you put up on the actual keep you on the scoreboard. Me for this week, I am going for quarterback. Woo! You know what? I'm gonna do. You know what? This for this week and this week only, JT. I'm gonna use my lineup. I'm gonna use my lineup that I have in the same league as yours, and I'm gonna go from there. So that'll be my lineup. I'll post it up on our website so everybody can see it. I still got yours, so I'll make sure you post yours up. Like I said, the OG will hopefully he'll provide me his before kickoff to Sunday morning, or if he does have any Sunday morning players. Now, JT, I will tell you this: since you provide me with your lineups on Wednesday, if you have anybody playing on Thursdays, they would actually be part of that lineup. So I will give you the benefit of the doubt. Test 2, baby. But sorry, but I'm gonna go and leave it at that. I do apologize. I mean, you're so used to having everybody here to where we have a little bit more conversation wise and things like that. And I kind of just ran through everything real quick. I do appreciate you guys sending us comments about what your trades I wanted to go through. Definitely let us know on the show if you're having certain trades you're having about certain players you want to start and sit. I appreciate the people that actually came through today and made the adjustments. Hopefully I have helped you out with that. Hopefully this gets you closer to a fantasy football championship. Please tell your friends. Please like our spot, and definitely keep us on. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe us. Again, in about an hour and a half, First String Podcast will be on. Definitely check them out because they're going to be talking about the actual rivalry between the Commanders and the Cowboys. And I'm not going to lie, I'm as much as I love my Commanders, as much as I love the Commanders. Hopefully they pull this off, but for what it's looking, I'm not going to lie, it's not looking too good. We did on News and Notes. They did actually sign Traylon Burke. Traylon Burke is now with the Commanders now. He's on the practice team, so I don't know if he's going to make the actual team for Dallas. I don't know if he's going to be playing on the team on Dallas. If you are looking, if you have somebody like, if you had Terry McLaurin and if you had Deebo Samuels, who both are not playing this week, I would definitely look into two players. One, Zach Ertz is one. Two, Luke McCaffrey. I'm sorry, three. And the third person I would actually look at getting at is Jalen Lane. He's the rookie wide receiver. On that note, JT puts his nice little words. The Commanders suck. And who is your team again? Exactly. Just sit there and swallow. Start Vital or Breeze at flex? That's a good question. I would say go and start Breeze at flex because right now, if you follow the Jets, Garrett is hurt. I don't think Garrett's gonna be playing this week. So I do think that they're going to rely heavily on the running game. So I would actually start. Yes, I would start Breeze as flex. Yeah. How was that Ohio State game, JT? Last time I checked, it was like 27-0. Yeah, last time I checked that game before I went on, it was 27-0 Ohio State. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I can really say after that. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for being on the show. Again, I'm gonna say that I probably sound like a broken record. Like, subscribe us. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Tell your friends. The man sitting next to the man that's sitting next to the man that called you a Piccolo player. Yeah, if you know that, then you know that. Don't forget to tell us about our show. Again, if you got any questions or comments, definitely come on the show and let us know. We want to make sure you get those titles. We want to make sure you get those rings, those championships, those bragging rights. We don't want you to be sweet as taboo. Oh, also just kind of make JT feel better about himself. Here are the new standings for our matchups. So, for the battle of the actual one of the singlet, we are all tied at 1 apiece. Again, congratulations to JT for winning this week. It was like we all played like crap this week. And I mean like some straight crap. But sorry about that. But I'm gonna be out of here. Again, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your weekend. And I'm not gonna say it again, but other than that, just raise my spread and wide. Peace. We out.